Hello, human formanites. Welcome to the holiday workout. This is a workout for if you have some moderately heavy weight, whatever that might mean for you. I would say at least 2 dumbbells probably needed for this workout, although you could do just one as well, and there's some different variations that you could do as well. But let's go over the first things we're going to work on. We're going to be for 15 minutes like we normally would, so you're going to just be doing these 3 exercises for that amount of time. You'll have your little bit of a break in between, and we'll go to the next set, do the same thing, and then our finisher, and you'll be all done. So let's go over the first 3 things. We have a dumbbell RDL, we've got a quarter get up, and then we're also going to be working on a farmer's march / carry, depending on your space. So with the dumbbell RDL, we have 2 dumbbells here. I'm going to take my dumbbells, I'm going to place them not necessarily on my sides or in the middle, or I guess rather in front of you. You are going to go in the middle, so kind of at a slight angle in front. So in this angle here, I'm looking at pushing my fingers into my legs and kind of dragging my knuckles down my legs as I get into the bottom end range of motion in my RDL. I'm going to drive through the floor, coming through and standing myself back up. At the side view here, doing the exact same thing, hinging, right? Butt should lead the motion, head reaches forward, butt goes backwards, loading into those hamstrings and glutes, pushing into the floor and coming back up. These are going to be a little bit of a longer range of, range of reps here. So we're looking at 12 to 15 right here, okay? So again, higher rep range, generally because we don't usually have the weight that we have here at the gym. So if you have a lighter amount of load, you're gonna have to raise the weight, the reps up a little bit. Of course, you can always play around your tempo and make that harder in that way as well. And that goes for all the movements that we're gonna go over in the video. Slower tempo, harder to do. We're gonna work into a quarter get up. Quarter get ups, you just need 1 of your dumbbells for this one. You're gonna be laying on the floor. I'm gonna show you a couple different angles of this. I'm gonna show you one and I'll turn around and do the other. That way you can see both sides. I'm gonna start with my right hand. So I'm gonna have my right hand underneath my dumbbell. Other hand's gonna go on top. I'm going to rotate on my back. Once I set up here, I'm gonna place this dumbbell up and over my chest. This is actually the starting position that you're gonna wanna be in. I'm gonna rotate slightly here. This right leg is going to stay up, and the left leg, the opposite leg, is going to extend out. So I'm going to be kind of this way. I do have some space between my left and my right leg, so I have some stability there. And from here, your left hand, the free hand, is going to be on the floor, kind of out next to your body. We're going to start the movement by taking your right hip off the floor slightly. We're going to reach that dumbbell up to the ceiling, lifting your head with that reach as well. Here's you're going to be feeling a little bit of contraction through the midsection here. I'm going to drive my right heel and my left elbow into the floor, reaching up toward the ceiling. Again, my eyes are locked on my dumbbell. I'm going to then place my hand and my palm on the ground and push to get myself up to that quarter position. And then once I'm here, I'm going to come back down to the elbow. I'm going to push the floor away from me, gently coming back into that starting position, and then I'll go ahead and go back up. I'll show you the same thing here in a different angle now. So I still have my right side holding the weight, right leg is up, left leg extended. Again, my left hand out to the side. Remember, you're starting with this slight hip lift off the ground, reaching that dumbbell up, head comes up with it, the left elbow and the right heel will drive into the floor to get me to go up to this position here. Palm on the floor, and either I was looking at the dumbbell, back to the elbow, push into the floor, and then again, back to your back. Once you're done, make sure you're controlling your weight down to the floor. We're not hurting our shoulders. As far as the reps go for that one, let's go between 3 and 8. If you're doing a full standing get up, like you've done a full standing one, we're gonna do for 3 reps or 4, maybe 4 reps. If you're doing the quarter like I just showed, we'll go more for like 5, maybe 8 reps. Again, it's always dependent on the weight and how fast you're going. Last thing we're going to work on in this set is going to be a farmer's march. Now I'm just going to say march because I'm in the assessment room. I don't have a lot of space here. If you have more space, you can certainly carry and walk around through this one. If you don't have that much space like I do here, we're going to go ahead and do a march. So for the march, you're going to need 2 of your dumbbells. Now you can do this with it with just 1 dumbbell being a suitcase carry or a suitcase march. But if I have 2 dumbbells, I'm going to go ahead and use them. So I have my dumbbells next to my sides. I want to make sure I have some tension being built in my lats. So I want my dumbbells a little outside my body. I don't want to be holding them down to my sides like this at all. I should be having them outward away from me just a little bit here. Now this one's going to be a little bit more heavy on the balance side of things. So if you're doing a march like I'm about to show you, it will be a little more balance heavy. So keep that in mind. We're going to start by lifting that foot up into the air, bringing the knee out in front of you, slowly and under control, of course, back down to the floor without shifting my weight too much to my other side. I'm going to bring the other foot up now, reaching that foot out in front of you, and then again controlling back down. Side view, look at something like this, shoulders, everything is neutral, head looking forward, knee comes up and out in front of you. Remember, we're exhaling as you bring the knee up, inhaling as you bring the knee back down. Again, just always under control. The slower we go, the more challenging this gets. That's gonna be your first 3. As far as the rep ranges go for the carry or the march, if you're doing a march, I would say 6 to 8 per size. That's gonna be 12 or 16 total reps. If you're doing a walk, I would say, depending on how much space you have, down and back, maybe down and back and a half. That's gonna be your first 3 for the 15 minutes. Good luck with that, and I'll see you in B's. All right, so time for the B section. We have got a Renegade row. We've got a single arm dumbbell chest press, and we're gonna finish out with a lunge variation. So with the Renegade row, you're gonna grab your 2 dumbbells here that we have. We're going to set up in a kind of like a bear hold position. So I'm gonna show you from the side actually, kind of get you set up here. I'm looking for shoulder, elbow, and wrist to line up, and I want my hip and my knee to line up. That's gonna be our first position here. We're going to push through one side hard and pull with the other. So you're gonna need to push through your right side and pull with your other side. So I'm gonna push through my right, pull with my left, come up, find, squeeze that lat, slowly work that back down, and I'm going to alternate. So I'm gonna push now through my left side, and I'm gonna pull with my right. Remember that when we're doing any kind of holding movements, we wanna make sure the elbow and the shoulder travel back together. We have a slight angle between the elbow and the rib cage, make sure that we're not hugging our body too much. Again, we want to make sure that we're not feeling too much shoulder and then we're getting mostly lat. Now, if I want to make that a little more challenging on myself, I'm going to go ahead and lengthen myself out a little bit, basically going into more of a plank style position. So I'm going to move my knees back and my hips low. Remember that when you're moving yourself around, make sure that, again, your shoulder is stacking above the elbow and the wrist joint. Make sure that we're not leaning out like this, okay? So that being said, now we're in a slight angle. When I pick these weights up, I will feel a change throughout my midsection here, and a little bit more challenging of a position for me there. So if you're looking for that, you certainly can do that. Just watch the lower back, make sure things are feeling nice and safe. Let's do about 8 to 10 reps on each side here for the Renegade row, and that's gonna lead us into our next movement, which is gonna be a dumbbell press. So the dumbbell press, very similar to the row we just got done doing. Mechanically, shoulders and elbows move the exact same. Now we're just gonna be doing it on the floor. So getting set up how we did for our quarter get up, we're gonna set with whatever hand you wanna start with underneath the dumbbell. Other hand's gonna go on top. Rotate onto your back here, and we're going to go ahead and press this dumbbell up and over your chest. I'm gonna drive this dumbbell up, and I'm gonna kind of slightly push to the midline of my chest here. I don't wanna cross the dumbbell way over my body like this. Just a slight push inward. It helps you feel that pec turn on. Elbow's gonna come back down to the floor, again, away from my rib cage. I want to have some distance here between my elbow and my rib cage, and then again, right back over top. I'll show you some different angles, maybe just a head-on angle here. So again, driving up, squeezing, slowly working this back to the floor. Again, under control as always. Our main focus is going to be the pec here. Yes, you'll probably feel some shoulder, and yeah, you'll probably get a little bit of the tricep behind the arm, but in general, we want to be feeling mostly pec. When you're done with both sides, make sure that you're rolling to the side like this and placing the dumbbell down gently. Again, we just don't want to be doing this kind of movement with weight in our hands. This one, just like the Renegade row, is going to be 8 to 10 reps as well for each side. Of course, you can always manipulate rep ranges. If you want to go higher, you can do that. With your lunge, we're going to be using just a single dumbbell for this. So we're going to be holding this dumbbell up in a goblet position. I like to hold my goblet a little in front of me, so my elbows kind of driving up toward the ceiling this way. That's going to help create, again, lat tension and ab tension there, making that a little more challenging. So we have our dumbbell. We're going to be pushing it up toward the goblet position. Now, when we're stepping back, we're going to be doing a reverse lunge here. So we're going to step back into your lunge. So one foot will go back, knee will go forward. As long as the knee stays over the foot, we should be fine. Again, I can't have the heel come off the ground, and of course, no knee pain. So knee goes forward, butt goes straight to the floor. I want to hover my back legs. I don't want to be touching the floor necessarily on a hover. And then this bottom position, we're actually going to add in a rotation. So you're going to be rotating over the top leg, coming back, getting yourself up. I'm going to hit all one side first. So I'm going to come back down, rotate, rotate, and back up. I'm gonna do my 8 to 10 reps on one side. I'll then switch it and do 8 to 10 on the other side. If you have not done a reverse lunge and you wanna do a split squat there instead, you can certainly do that as well. Okay, so we made it to the finisher. So during the finisher, we have two things that we're gonna work on. We have a lateral dumbbell raise and a wall sit. Now with the lateral dumbbell raise, if you have lighter weights, I would go ahead and suggest using those lighter weights, 5, 7.5, 10 pounds. I wouldn't use anything too heavy with this one. It's not gonna take that much to make these really challenging. What we're looking for here is basically control, like anything else. We're going to lift these dumbbells up. I'm gonna show you kind of the angle I'm looking for first. So I'm gonna have the dumbbells come up and at a slight angle up above my body. Thumbs should be kind of in like front of your nose height here. It looks like my hands are above my head, but again, I'm gonna be in like in this position here. I don't wanna go too much higher than this, and I'm gonna come straight back down. So I'm gonna come at a slight angle out and up, and then again, back down. So not like a big T and not in front, kind of in the side of both of those positions. So with weights in my hand, I'm gonna go ahead and show, again, rolling out to the side, under control, slowly under control, bring those back down to the middle, and then again, back up. These will get very tiring very quick. So if you feel like you're needing to cheat and swing these weights up, I would suggest not doing so and just doing whatever range you feel like you can get comfortably without having to cheat. So again, maybe they're half reps, maybe they're quarter reps. That'd be more beneficial than having to swing those weights. The next thing we're gonna work on is going to be a wall sit. You can add in your dumbbells if you'd like. Two options here, just holding them down by your sides. It makes it a little more challenging that way, or we can add in that alternating dumbbell curl. So getting set up here on the wall sit, I'm going to get down into my bottom position. Again, if you'd like to, hold your weights down by your sides like this. Notice I'm not actually doing it. Hold your weights down by your sides like this. You can certainly do that. We should be feeling a burn in our quads here. Of course, we want to make sure a little bit more arms are involved. We can add in that alternating dumbbell curl. I would just suggest that you finish all one rep before adding to the other one versus doing the seesaw effect. We're doing 8 to 10 reps on that alternating dumbbell curl, or we can do 30 to 45 seconds. I didn't mention it before, but for that lateral raise that we're doing, we're gonna go ahead and do around 8 to 10 reps of those lateral raises. And that's gonna be your finisher. So we'll go 3, maybe 4 rounds of that like you normally would in class, and that's your workout. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it. This has been Jeff from the Human Form. Thanks.